Um, I'm so excited, you guys. I'm getting the technology little by little. Of course, I don't own the rights to the song, but it's this beautiful song I gotta play. Like I said earlier, my hair has a mind of its own, so it's just free forming right now, and that's okay. And that's okay. I'm gonna give some people some time to come in. We are live. Yes, we are. I hope you all are doing very well. I hope you all are having a magnificent day, a magnificent beginning of year. Whew. I was waiting for a few to come in so we could get started. Today we're going to be focusing on, I love the songs. You know, when I used to teach early childhood, I used to have the children, especially the last couple of years, I had my students meditate to this beautiful song by, oh, wait a minute. Ah, I didn't want it on this channel, but that's okay. This is on the wrong YouTube channel. But that's all right. We're going to work it out, all right? I got this on the Vegasm Cooking channel. This should not be on the Vegasm Cooking channel. It should be on my other channel. But that's okay. Everything is divine order. Everything's going to work out how it works out. So I will be moving this video to, after we finish, to my other YouTube channel, Return to Pachamama Adult Education. And I'm going to be deleting it from the Vegasm Cooking channel. But we're going to get started, okay? Beautiful song by India Ari called I Am Light. And she says, I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I might be sniffling a little bit because I gave myself some plant medicine. Not a plant, like a eye trip or anything like that. I gave myself some medicine called rape, and some cultures call it hape. Yeah, just to kind of calm the nerves and the spirit and open up the heart chakra and different beautiful things like that so we can get started. Well, all right. So today we're going to be discussing numerology and astrology. As you guys who've been watching me know, I have lately been combining the two metaphysics styles. The astrology aspect that I come from or that I'm using is Western astrology. There's many different types of astrology. There's Vedic astrology. You have Western. You have Japanese. You got Chinese astrology, where they funnel feed a dragon or the dog or the pig. There's so many different types, but the type that I am using and that I am teaching is Western astrology. So today we're going to talk about challenges and opposites. Let me first explain what challenges and opposites are. They're not negative. Let me just say that first. Your challenge numbers, your opposite signs, they are not negative. Please understand that they are not negative. What they are is just opposite. And a lot of times our opposition numbers and our opposition signs actually help to bring us the most growth. And they become our biggest teachers, I would say. But it's important to know what the opposites are, because sometimes we plan to have a certain type of day and everything just starts fucking up. Everything goes wrong. That is not by any means always a negative thing, because you can learn the most from those challenging days and challenging times. Those are actually some of our biggest teachers, but it's important to be aware of the opposition so you know maybe you don't want to plan your wedding day on your opposite number day. Because, things may not go in the way that you plan or the way that you want it to go. So you want to be aware of it. So I brought one of my charts when I was teaching virtually to my students. I used to use my little chalkboard, so that's what I'm going to use today. It's not a chalkboard, but it's a dry erase board. So first we're going to talk about opposition and challenges in numerology, and then we're going to go over to the opposite signs in astrology, and we're going to talk a little bit about each one. Um, Feel free to donate as usual if you can. There is no minimum donation for these free teachings that I'm doing. Feel free to donate via Cash App. My Cash App is $A Zabriskie. Or through Venmo. My Venmo is the @ symbol Asma, my first name ASMAAA dash Zabriskie ZABRISKIE. That is my real last name. Yes, I am a Black woman with the name Zabriskie, with a Polish last name. There's a whole lot of history to that. So we're going to start with the first number in numerology. We're going to start with 1. 0 doesn't have an opposite as far as I've ever read or researched or have been taught from any of my numerology teachers. We're going to start with the number 1. Let me write it over here. You have the number 1, and 1 is usually at opposition with the number 8. Okay? Number 1 deals with, and let me just say this also. Signs and numbers that are opposite a lot of times have a ton in common in a lot of ways. So it's weird that they're opposites. Sometimes you may see people under opposite signs that may have a wonderful relationship, opposite numbers that may have learned how to work with each other and have a wonderful relationship. So don't be alarmed necessarily if you're dealing with someone under an opposite number or an opposite sign. That doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, it's not always going to work out, but that does mean that there will be challenges. So the opposite of number 1 in numerology, in the way that I was taught, is 8. People born under the number 1 are people born on the 1st of a month, the 10th of a month, people born on the the 1st of the month, the 10th of the month, or the 19th of the month are number 1 people. People born under the number 8 are people born on the 8th of a month, the 17th of a month, or the 26th of a month. Okay? People who are number 1 people tend a lot of times when they're higher vibration to be go-getters. They tend to be internally driven. They tend to be fast, move fast on things, quick pace, don't waste no time, not a lot of patience, sometimes short-tempered, a lot of times short-tempered. People born under the number 8 vibration. I notice a lot of number 8s, in my personal opinion, tend to be authoritative and have big mouths. 1s can be kind of harsh and rough with their words, and 8s to me can kind of be that way too. People under the 8 vibration a lot of times are very money-oriented, business-oriented. I'm speaking of their higher vibrations, not so much their lower. You have 2. The opposition of 2 is 9 in numerology. Okay? People born under the number 2 are people born on the 2nd of a month. The master number 11 is a higher vibration of the number 2, so that is a 2. People who are born on the 20th of a month, and people who are born on the 29th, which is also a master number because 2 and 9 is 11. And as I taught in some of my other teachings before, that 2 and 9, that 29, every number in numerology gets reduced to a single digit by adding the numbers together. People who are number 2s tend to be a little more calm-tempered, a little more easygoing kind of people. That's 2nd, 11th, 20th, 29th. They tend to be people, in my opinion, that don't always use their throat chakra to express themselves and things that they need to say. They tend to be very good with partnerships, tend to be very good with working with others. They tend to not so much want the spotlight. They tend to like to work in the background. People who are number 9s are born on the 9th of a month, the 18th of a month, or the 27th. Those are people who tend to be feisty, fiery, no filter with their mouth, similar to the number ones, which 1 and 9 are both actually fire numbers. Hold on one second. I'm trying to watch on Facebook as well, because this is the first time I'm doing it through Streamlabs. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm catching on to everyone's questions and different things like that. So you gotta give me a second sometimes, y'all. Sorry about that. Oh, that's another thing that they commented. These tend to be people who like to do things their way, who are straightforward kind of people. They want you to just tell it like it is to them. If you don't like them, they prefer that you tell them straight up, like, tell me what it is. And they tend to have a lot of thick skin. Even though I believe that they can be a little bit on the sensitive and emotional side, but they tend to tap more into that roughness, that toughness, that warrior energy. Next, you have the number 3. And 3 in numerology is opposite of 5. I find 3 and 5 opposition very interesting because they're so similar. They have so much in common. They're both numbers that deal with popularity, that deal with art, that deals with writing, that deals with just very likable energy a lot of times. Excuse me. Sorry, the medicine is working through me, so sometimes it comes out as a post-nasal drip, or it comes out as nose blowing. So forgive me if I blow my nose. I usually don't do that during these videos, but that's all right. 3s, see, 1 is a fire element, 9 is a fire element, 3 is a fire element. So they tend to be very straightforward with their words, very, kind of rough and tough with how they say things, very blunt. 3 is also a number that they tend to, in my opinion, be very animated with the way that they talk. 3s are the type of people born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st of a month, or the 30th. And they're the type of people that, they may not be, whether they're born under the number 3 or they have 3 somewhere in their chart, they tend to be those type of people that'll go, girl, let me tell you, da 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 da. And they tend to be very animated in how they express themselves. 3 and 5 deals with freedom of expression in a way, even though they're opposites. 5s tend to be the type of people who like a lot of intellectual conversation. They tend to be people that love freedom, that love to travel, love to experience new things and diversity, new things, new foods, all kind of stuff. The next one, sorry, I'm writing the numbers kind of big because I want y'all to be able to see it, is 4. 4 is at opposition with the number 6 a lot of times. So 4 is a number that deals with a lot of rules, regulation, building foundation, discipline. They tend to be kind of rigid. Like I spoke about in another video of mine, the shape of the number 4 is almost like a box. Or even if you play football, that metal thing that they try to get the goal through. I don't know what it's called. I don't watch football. But 4s have all these angles and edges. So they have this rigidness about them. When you look at the number 6 is circular almost. There's no 90-degree angles in the number 6. So even though 4s deal with that, 4s people are born on the 4th of a month, born on the 13th of a month, born on the, let me see, the 4th of a month, the 13th of a month. They're also born on the 31st of a month. 6s tend to be more family oriented, more loving, more of a gentle energy. It's earth energy. It's earth element. And 4s are more like natural investigators, natural skeptics. They want to pick things apart and understand things. They want to analyze every finite detail of things. 6s are more into home life. They tend to be more family life. A lot of them are homebodies. But in numerology, they are considered opposites. Sixes are born on the 6th of a month, the 15th of a month, and the 24th of a month. And I didn't mention five, so make sure you guys are writing down as I go along. Fives are born on the 5th of a month, born on the 14th of a month, born on the 23rd of a month, which today is the 23rd, and we're actually in a number 5 year, 2021 equals 5. Moving along to the number, I need to write smaller so I can fit all these numbers down here. Number 5, which I don't have to write too big because 5, we already spoke about, is considered opposition to 3. Same thing up here that we already discussed. 6, we already spoke about being opposition to the 4. 7. Wait, hold on. Let me write something. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Seven is an interesting number to me. So these are not the only oppositions, but these are the main oppositions that are recognized in numerology. You have, with the 7 can be oppositional to the 2, which is interesting because 2 and 7 are actually both water numbers. They're both under the water element. 7s have a lot of similarity to the number 4, and they have a lot of similarity to number 1. I really don't want to put anything right here for the 7. But know that there is opposition with the 7. The 7 can so let's talk about 7 energy. 7 energy is a water element, and it deals with a lot of introspection, a lot of in-depth thinking about the self, a lot of self-analyzing, kind of like the 4, but in a different way. And 7 is a very intuitive energy. 7 sometimes has conflict with more straightforward numbers like 8, like 7 has more opposition sometimes with 9s, with 8s, with 1s, with those fire numbers, but also with the 8 energy, even though 8 is an earth number. Because 7 is a more reserved kind of energy. People born under the number 7 are born on the 7th of a month, born under the 16th of a month, born under the 25th of a month as well. But I really don't want to put nothing here because 7 doesn't have, to me, and this is just my opinion, 7 doesn't have a specific number to me that you constantly see opposition with. But because it's a more calmer, laid back energy, it can be oppositional to some of those more straightforward, blunt, harsher type of numbers. Now we're going to go over to the astrology side. We're going to start with Aries because in Western astrology, Capricorn in January is actually not the first or the beginning in astrology. It begins with the Aries energy. And what sign is at opposition with Aries? Libra. Something interesting in astrology, you constantly see fire elements and air elements go together, but every fire element's opposite is an air element. You constantly see water and earth elements go together, but every water element that has an opposition, the opposition is an earth element. Let me explain. So in astrology, in Western astrology, you have the 4 elements. You have the earth, the air, the water, the fire. Fire signs are under the fire element: Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. Earth signs are under the earth element. Those are Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Water are under the water element. The water elements are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And you have the air elements. The air elements are Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. So we're going to talk a little bit about the opposition. So Aries, the opposition of Aries is Libra. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. The opposition of Aries is Libra. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. So Aries tends to be a very feisty, fiery energy, tends to be, they're connected actually with the number one, which is interesting. Tends to be a very actionary kind of sign, I would say. They're big on immediate initial action of things, getting things done quickly, being a little hot-headed, being impatient. That's very Aries energy. But they also tend to set a lot of trends. I like to call them trendsetters, a trendsetter sign, because they tend to be the first to do things. I honestly would think, this is my own personal theory, I think that the first person to probably wear blue hair or red hair or pink hair or something out the box, maybe blue or red, probably was a fire sign, maybe an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Because they tend to be the fire signs tend to be the ones to march to the beat of their own drum. They tend to be the ones that step out the box. They don't want to be like everyone else. Aries are big on being original, usually being their original, authentic self. They really don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks, what anybody says. It's just, this is me and this is who I am. Libra is a little more of a more gentle energy, and both of these are actually cardinal signs. Cardinal signs are kind of the leaders of the pack of each element. So you have Aries, who is kind of the leader of the pack for the fire signs. Libra, who's kind of the leader of the pack of the air signs. The cardinal signs, the leaders of the pack, as I like to call them, they tend to be the most actionary of that element. The most go-getter, get things done of that element a lot of times. And they tend to be kind of demanding, kind of, some of them control freaks. Libra's a more gentle energy. Libra's a lot more fixated with the self. And also, they are interested in human connection more, where Aries can stand alone and be fine. But Libra tends to want some type of connection with others. And that's also because Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. The next one in astrology will be Taurus. As y'all know, there are 12 signs in the Western zodiac that we go by. And Taurus opposite is Scorpio. Taurus is an earth element. Scorpio is a water element. Tauruses tend to be stubborn. Think of a stubborn ass mule, or a stubborn ass Aries is the ram. I'm thinking of the bull. That's what I'm thinking of. Mule, bull, they all rhyme, right? But Tauruses tend to be more set in their ways. They tend to like routine. They tend to like things the way that they are, or they get kind of complacent. But a lot of Tauruses are usually pretty good with money, with managing money, budgeting money. That tends to be their thing. They like to have their own money. They like nice things. They tend to like the finer things in life, or whatever that is to them. And they love to eat. Tauruses love a good meal. Then you have Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign, but to me, Scorpio personally reminds me of a lot of fire energy, because even though they're water, and their water always constantly moves, it's changeable. Even though they're a water element, they tend to be very feisty, especially when it's something that stirs them up emotionally. When things stir up a Scorpio emotionally, they tend to be very feisty. I'm actually going to do in the near future a series where I focus on the specific elements. So I'll have like a video just on the earth signs, a video just on the fire signs, a video just on the water signs, a video just on the air signs. And I'll focus also on the numbers dealing with those signs, or the numbers connected with those signs. But Scorpio is a very deeply intense, deeply emotionally intense sign. They feel things. They tend to be very intuitive. Taurus also tends to be very intuitive as well, but they tend to be more grounded. They're not, they don't display the emotion in the same way that a Scorpio would. A Scorpio may cry, a Scorpio may fight, whereas a Taurus may be completely calm and vindictive. All right. The next one is Gemini. Gemini is an air sign, and Gemini's opposite is Sagittarius. It's important that we know these opposites, by the way, because as I go into other videos where I explain the North and the South nodes and different things like that, when we do a video where we start to break down the astrology chart for everyone, and you guys can ask questions regarding the astrology chart, the North and South nodes deal with opposites and different things like that. And you might meet someone and you're like, they said our signs go together, but for whatever reason, we did not go together. Or you may be like, I'm married to my opposite sign and I am super happy. I don't know how they're my opposite. We'll get into all of that in the future. Gemini is an air element. Gemini deals with communication, talking, intellectual conversation. Maybe not super deep all the time, but intellectual conversation. Geminis love freedom. They love new things. A lot of them love technology, in my opinion. Then you have Sagittarius, which just loves to have fun. Sagittarius to me is a very lucky sign. You'll see Sagittarius get away with shit that nobody else would get away with. Air signs and fire signs, not all fire signs, but all the air signs to me, and some of the fire signs like Sagittarius, tend to be very charming. They get away with a lot of things because of their charm, because of their likability, because of their nature to just be like, this is who I am, this is how I am. Sagittarius you tend to find Sagittarius with a lot of comedians somewhere in their chart. Sagittarius like to keep things lighthearted. They like to be playful. They like pranksters when they want to be as well. That's that Sag energy. They're also very feisty and fiery because they're a fire sign. They also like to step out of the box and march to the beat of their own drum as well. Next we have Cancer. And Cancer's opposite is Capricorn. Cancer is a water sign. Capricorn is an air sign. Cancer is also very deeply emotional, very deep, intense emotions like Scorpio. Cancer is it's levels to a Cancer. Very intuitive, very deep emotion, moody, changes moods, changes feelings. One minute they want to do one thing, the next minute they want to do something else. But that's because they have such deeply intense emotions that everyone does not always understand. And they feel things and they sense things. A lot of Cancers tend to be empathic. If you guys know what an empath is, you'll know what I'm speaking of in particular. Oh, wait a minute. I finally get to see what some people are saying. Yes. Tammy's a Sag. Thurman is Virgo. Where you at? We getting to Virgo. Capricorn is Earth. That's right. Earth, Capricorn, Cancer is water. Go ahead, Thurman. Thurman know his signs. Capricorn is the opposite. When you look on a map, you find the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn. The polarity of them is very interesting. because these both are cardinal signs. These both are take charge, get things done, you know, can be kind of bossy. Cancers and Capricorns. Capricorn is an earth mother. Cancer rules the water. It's the mother of the zodiac. It has a warm, Cancers tend to have a very warm, welcoming, loving, mothering side to them. They want to take care of everybody in the world. And Capricorn is the ruler of the earth, pretty much. So it's like the mother of the water, the mother of the earth. Capricorns have a tendency to also be, they come across in astrology and to a lot of people as emotionless, but they are not emotionless. It's just the way that they display their emotions can come across kind of cold because they're not as expressive in an emotionally dramatic kind of way like a Cancer would be. If something hurts a Cancer, 9 times out of 10, our asses is crying. Like, ah! Capricorn will be like, okay, let me figure this out. They'll be calm under pressure a lot of times. And so it may seem like they don't have emotions, but they really, really do. It's very interesting. So after Cancer, we have Leos. I love Leos. Most Leos. And Leo's opposition is Aquarius. And it's funny because as you get to know more about the signs, you'll find so many similarities among the opposition where you can see why they would connect with each other or at least have a relationship with one another because there's a lot of similarities. Leos tend to be very generous, type of people that will give you the shirt off their back, especially if they care about you. Leos love attention. Leos, they love compliments a lot of times. They are, to them, they are the best thing since sliced bread. They are the cream of the crop. They tend to have high esteem about themselves and a lot of pride, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And also remember, Leo was ruled by the lion. Don't we call the lion the king of the jungle? So Leo carries themselves, even when you look at the way a lion walks, the lion walks with a certain amount of pride. Like, boom, boom, I'm the lion. Boom, boom, ain't nobody fucking with me. That's that Leo energy. Aquarius is the opposition of Leo. Aquarians, some astrologers consider Aquarians rebel without a cause because they can be very calm and cool and collected, but they can fuck shit up and be very, very destructive. Very, very destructive when they want to be on their lower vibration. On their higher vibration, though, they are all for humanitarian type of work. They are all for helping other people, just like Leo would help other people. Aquariuses would definitely help other people a lot of times. They are big on brotherly and sisterly love and connection, charity work. Um, they're also the type of people where, you'll see somebody homeless on the street and Aquarius might be the one to give them the $5 out their pocket. They're air signs, and they tend to seem like they're in their own world, kind of there, kind of not. And a lot of times it's also because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet Uranus. If you know anything about Uranus, Uranus is a very odd, or considered to be a very odd planet. It's not even shaped like the other planets in the solar system. Not shaped, but it's not even on like a similar axis. Like it's just in its own kind of world. So it's a different kind of energy with the Aquarian. Okay. Then we got the Virgo. Somebody was asking about Virgo. And Virgo's opposition is Pisces. Virgos. Virgos have some amazing qualities about them, in my opinion. Virgos to me remind me a lot, well, their lower vibrational sides remind me a lot of the Cancer. But Virgos are earth signs. They tend to be grounded. Virgos are very meticulous. Oh my gosh, they analyze things down to a T. They pay close attention to details. A lot of air signs pay close attention to details, but to me, Virgo is a different type of way that they pay attention to details. Something that and earth signs to me also tend to pay a lot of attention to details. But Virgos have an ability to analyze things in a way where everyone else would miss a step and the Virgo will be spotting that one step that everybody else missed and calmly will be like, oh, y'all know y'all forgot this. And everybody will be like, oh, that's the Virgo. They dot their I's, they cross their T's. Very thorough on their higher vibration. The challenge with the Virgo is often very self-critical. They introspect, but they introspect in a way where they tear themselves apart in private. Very much like Cancers do. You see what I'm saying? The similarity. Virgos can be very self-critical and very critical of others that fall short of their expectations. But they can be very creative, but they can also be very insecure about who they are and their power and owning their ability and their creativity. You know what I mean? A lot of Virgos are a lot of Virgos are very talented and creative, but they're kind of the hermit. They'll just kind of keep it to themselves. Pisces is their opposite. Pisces, even though it's a water sign, Pisces reminds me a lot of air energy. Pisces is very free flowing. It's actually considered the last sign in Western astrology. Pisces, some astrologers believe to have a combination of all the signs because they are the last sign. So you'll see a little bit of air sign qualities in the Pisces, water sign, earth sign, fire sign, all in the Pisces. Pisces is all kind of mixed up. But Pisces tend to be very creative, very deeply emotional, very intuitive, very sensual, very sexual, but very creative. Pisces think out the box like crazy. Pisces, what's so interesting about Pisces is also known as a sign that gets heavily into spirituality. Pisces and Sagittarius are known to get heavily into religion or spirituality. Or they might be wild until they get into something like that, and then it calms them and grounds them. Pisces is a very free-flowing energy, and things for Pisces don't always work out the way that they plan. That's just a Pisces thing. Pisces can plan to be somewhere at 2 o'clock, and they ass will get there at 4. A lot of Pisces are not on time. Not all Pisces, but a lot of them are not on time. Um, and they're the type that'll pop up late and be like, hey, like they're not late, like they didn't miss a beat. Oh, yeah, hey, everything is fine. Just loving energy a lot of times from Pisces. The Pisces that I see that tend to be more straightforward and authoritative tend to be born on March 4th. I don't know what it is. It's that 4 energy. The March 4th Pisces. That's the K. Michelle's, I'm thinking of another person on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of their name, but they're also a March 4th kind of Pisces. And Pisces and Virgos are actually opposite signs. So let's continue, right? Then we have Libra. We spoke a little bit about Libra. Libra's opposite we already spoke about is Aries. So I'm not going to go too much deep into that, but I am going to talk a little bit more about Libra. Libra is the symbol of the scales. It is important for Libras to have a level of balance in their lives. Libras can be cool and calm and collected until they feel like something ain't fair. Then them scales will tip and they will blow the fuck up. They will go off if something is not considered fair to them. Libras have to have balance and understanding in life. They always have to balance things. If it's something where they don't have a level of understanding of something, it's hard to wrap around their mind. It's like, but why? Because the symbol of the scales represents the Libra. When you look Libra is also tied to the judicial system. I'm going to tell you how. You ever been to a courthouse? What's the symbol behind the judge? The scales of the Libra. If you're into any kind of Kemetic belief system, they talk about the scales of Ma'at, like Libra. It's all about balance. And so Libras have to have a level of balance and understanding. A lot of Libra children that I've come across are very intelligent, very inquisitive children, ask a lot of fucking questions. Very intelligent, very they're always going to ask questions. Well, how does this work? Well, how does that work? Well, how can you do this? That's how they are, because they want to learn about the world that way. What I tend to notice, well, I'm even going to go into that. We're going to go into the next one. Let me see. We touched on Scorpio, but I'm going to touch on Scorpio a little bit more. We talked about Scorpio's opposition being Taurus. I'm going to touch on Scorpio a little bit more. When people think Scorpio, they think hot-headedness and they think sex. Because those things are tied, and death are tied to the Scorpio energy. Scorpio, I feel like a lot of times is misunderstood. They're very loving, very deeply loving, they care through levels, very deeply intuitive, very nosy. Scorpios are nosy. They want to know all your business, but they don't want to tell you everything about them. They like to reserve a part of their stuff. And that's just part of that Scorpio energy, like the scorpion. You know what I mean? But you fuck with it, Scorpio gonna bite the hell out of you. Scorpio is opposition of Taurus. What else can I say about Scorpio in a nutshell? Oh, wait, let me read some of these comments. Because when a Virgo shares their creativity, people tend to follow. Look at Michael, Beyonce. People have cults behind them. That's weird. Yep. So we have to keep it to ourselves because the world ain't ready. Laugh my ass off. That's a comment by Laura. Yes, I understand. I understand that about the Virgo. The Virgo tries to be very cautious about who they share certain things with. I read a Virgo and a Scorpio was one sign and a Libra separated us. Oh, and turned us into two. That's a Virgo and a Scorpio on each scale. Now that I have to look into. I've never read that, but I will definitely look that up. It sounds very interesting. After Scorpio, you tend to have the Sagittarius, which we already spoke about. Sagittarius is playful, loving, happy, joking energy. The opposite we already discussed is Gemini. And then after Sagittarius, we have Pisces, and y'all know Pisces opposite is Virgo. And we touched on Pisces and Virgo. So let me explain something that I've learned over time and that I continue to learn. You may have a couple that is of opposite signs that are happily together, happily married. And people are like, well, they said Leos and Aquariuses don't go together, but we love each other. Yeah, we're different, but we love each other. That's okay. I want you guys to learn that opposition is not anything to fear. Opposition teaches you and helps to modify you to be better if you allow it to. They may have opposite signs, but they may have compatible numbers. Or they may have signs that typically, that's why you can't just go by the sun sign. A lot of times you'll have people that'll say, oh, well, they said this Gemini person trying to talk to me, but I'm a Sagittarius, and they said online that we wouldn't get along. That's not necessarily true. Let me knock that out of everybody's head right now. Yes, you guys are opposite signs. So that means that there are some things that are going to be different. Y'all may have likable numbers with each other. Y'all astrology chart, because the astrology chart is the whole makeup of the person. You're not just your sun sign. Your whole astrology chart, plus your numbers, plus every other factor, plus your own personal experiences. So you cannot chalk it up to just the sun sign. It doesn't make any sense. Just because two sun signs may be in opposition does not mean that there is absolutely no compatibility. Because, for example, a Gemini and a Sag are opposite sun signs, but the Gemini might have more placements in their astrology chart that are compatible with the Sagittarius. It might be a Gemini air sign that has mad fire in their astrology chart. So they're a lot more like the Sag than people may think. Or it might be a Sagittarius that has a lot of air in their chart and they might be more like the Gemini. Or it also depends on where the placements are. I'll give you an example. I like to use myself as an example, right? I'm a Cancer. Cancer is water. Aquarians tend to stick on me like white on rice. I do not want Aquarian men. They drive me bananas. I almost married one. It was a hot mess. Anyone that I've ever dealt with has brought me problems. However, I could understand why I attract the Aquarian, even though I'm a Cancer. I'm water, they're air. It's like water and air. Earth and water tend to go together. Air and fire tend to go together. Fire needs air to spread. Earth needs water to still exist and live. So how does a water sign and an air sign come together? Well, in my astrology chart, my Venus placement in my astrology chart, which expresses how I express love and how I express affection, is Gemini. Gemini is an air sign like Aquarius. You see what I'm saying? So you can't just go by the sun signs. A lot of times people do surface level bullshit where they'll just tell you, oh, you're two sun signs. Oh, no, you're not compatible. You can't just go by that. Take heed to what they're saying, but take it with a grain of salt sometimes because it may not necessarily be true for your specific situation. On top of that, in numerology, my first alignment number is 22. 22 is a 4 vibration, but a master level that's ruled by Aquarius. My rising sign is Sagittarius. Sagittarius and Aquarius, you see them together like this a lot. So it makes sense that a Cancer would attract Aquarians. A Cancer like me with my kind of chart. You see what I'm saying? So you can't just go strictly by the sun sign. You can't always just go just by the numbers, but the numbers are a whole nother level. You may have two incompatible signs. So let's use an example. You might have a Taurus, which is an earth element, get with a Aries, fire element, earth and fire, right? Earth and fire. Fire scorches the earth. Like, what the hell? How did they get together, right? But the Taurus could have a birthday where they're born May 9th. The Aries birthday, they could be born April 1st. And they may have a very loving relationship. Why? Because those numbers 9 and 1 are both fire numbers. The elements of their numbers are compatible. So don't just look at the sun sign, okay? Don't just look at the number. Look at it's the totality of the person. Now you may have some people with compatible numbers who have a toxic ass relationship. And a lot of times that toxicity may be due to a lot of different things. That can be life experiences. It could be someone born on the 9th. It could be a male born on the 9th and a female born on the 1st of a month. And the male has issues with his mother. All the females in the male's life have hurt him. And so his life experiences creates his inability to properly love that number one female right, even though they have so much compatibility. So it's a lot more. Anybody who knows me personally knows I have a degree in psychology, one of my degrees. So you also got to look at the human experience, not just the numerology and astrology, but the numerology and astrology can give you a lot of in-depth information. It can give you a lot of insight into yourself. This is why I get into it, and this is why I'm starting to teach it to people, to teach the things that I know and the things that I continue to learn and to grow in. I'm going to teach you guys. Okay? So now let's have a little fun. I need y'all to type in some signs and we'll talk about their compatibility. I need y'all to type in 2 signs and we'll talk about their compatibility. So type in your friend's sign, your sign, whoever you're dealing with, and we're going to talk about compatibility, dealing with their numbers, dealing with the signs. And you know what? I'm thinking about what you said, Laura, about the Virgo and the Scorpio separated by the Libra. That actually may make sense. You know why? Hmm. Because Virgos and Scorpios have this connection with each other. A lot of times when I see Virgos and Scorpios get together, it'd be like a lifetime match because they have a way that they know how to deal with each other, and they have a way that they know how to um, deal with each other's energy, their best and their worst sides. And Scorpio at its worst can be very devious, and Virgo at its worst can be very devious and strategic. Both of them can be. So it's like they match each other at their worst and they match each other at their best. So I could definitely see what you're saying, Laura, about the Libra separating the two and they becoming the scales. I think that actually is right. Someone says Scorpio and Libra. Oh, that's a lot of sexual energy. That's a lot of sensuality, a lot of sexual energy. Um, the Scorpio might actually be the person who kind of is more of the leader in that relationship. But the Libra kind of wants to have their way. The Libra, though, will be bossy with a smile in a sense. Because the thing about Libra is an air sign, and air signs love to charm their way through everything, especially if they're attractive. Let me tell you, Libras, air signs, Libras, Aquariuses, Geminis, if they are considered by mainstream world attractive, they use that to their advantage, y'all. They use that charm and they'll sit there, oh yeah, well, I was thinking we'll do this. Sit there and smile in your face. But that's their way, that's how the air signs manipulate through their charming, charismatic energy and personality. Um, Scorpios like to control a lot of times in a passive aggressive way, but some of them are aggressive. Depends on their birthday number, in my opinion. Um, Scorpios sometimes are their way or the highway when it comes to thinking about stuff. It's my way or the highway. This is how I want things. And they they don't mind expressing it. Scorpios may also try to control through sex. That's Scorpio Libra. That's interesting. Scorpio, oh, born in the 25th, and Libra born in the, oh, they're both number sevens. Passive aggressive, passive aggressive. And they have a way that they can communicate with each other without even always speaking words. They communicate intuitively with each other and they fill each other out. They tend to fill each other out. They know intuitively how the other person is feeling. If the other person is pissed off, they don't even have to really say anything. The other one will feel it because of those sevens, the seven energy that they both have. You know what I mean? Um, they may also, in the beginnings, at least in their relationships, be a little shy and a little coy about expressing their desires with each other in the beginning. Um, yeah. And both of those people can be spiritually inclined if they tapped into that. Let me see. I see Scorpio and Libra. I think it was Egyptian. It probably was Egyptian, Laura. Mm-hmm. And thank you for putting the article there as well. FA. Yes, that's Scorpio Libra. Now, the best sign that I've ever dealt with as a Cancer, me personally, probably was a Taurus man. I love Taurus men. They know how to deal with my energy in a way where we just be so compatible and so peaceful with one another. You know what I mean? Because the Taurus tends to ground me when I need the grounding. And I tend to help the Taurus tap inward in ways. So like Taurus, Cancers, a lot of times you'll see them to be together. When they get together forever. A lot of common couples. So you know what? Let's talk celebrities. Okay. Celebrities. What's some celebrities y'all like? We're going to talk about their signs. I know damn near everybody's sign. Let's see. I don't know why it's coming to mind, but coming to mind is Tiny and T.I. Crazy ass couple, in my opinion. So Tiny is a Cancer. T.I. is a Libra. Libra is ruled by the number 6. Cancer is ruled by the number 2. Libra is ruled by Venus. So Libras can be very romantic. They can sweep the Cancer woman off their feet because Cancer women love to be romanced. Yeah. But Tiny and T.I. have this weird thing to me. I don't know if y'all noticed, but every time Tiny get pissed off at T.I. for cheating or some of his fuckery, he buys her a car or he buys her something. I don't know how that works with Tiny all the time. But, to each his own. It works for them. Another Cancer Libra couple would be Soleil when she was married to Genuine. They were together for a long time, and I'm sure they had their back and forth between the air and water element. You know what I mean? The air blowing the water in one direction. Because a lot of times Libras have trouble making up their damn mind. They're very indecisive. Prime example, I have a family member, and me and this family member will come up with an idea of what we're going to do that day. So I'll be like, hey, you want to go to the movies today? And that family member will be like, I kind of want to go to the movies, I kind of don't. That will be the answer. Now, me as a Cancer, I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Can you give me a full, definite answer? What does that mean? Do you want to go? Do you not want to go? But that's kind of that Libra indecisiveness. To them, that is an answer. To them, that's my answer. I kind of do, I kind of don't. But it's like, can you make a decision? Can you make a concrete decision? Water and air signs tend to need concrete, definite decisions. We tend to need routine. We tend to need something grounding, routine, decisions. Let's see. A lot of people like Barack and Michelle. Michelle is a Capricorn. Barack is a Leo. So I'm sure in their relationship, Barack might be the one to more so be open to spending money frivolously. And Michelle probably got to kind of check that. Like, wait a minute, Barack. Nah, we got bills. We got because Leos have that generous kind of energy and they love to give to others. Whereas Capricorns tend to be more focused on financial stability, grounding, building legacy for themselves, for their families. So it's like, okay, well, let's handle this first and then we can go and give to other people. That's kind of more of that Capricorn energy. Get the paper first, then we're going to do the next thing. Let's think of some other celebrity couples. Let me see. Y'all got any for me? Let me check the chat. Oh, man. An interesting couple I see is Remy and Papoose. Well, Remy is a Gemini. Papoose is a Pisces. That's a very interesting connection, even though I feel like Pisces tends to be kind of, even though they're a water sign, they tend to flow kind of like the air energy in a way, but just more emotional and I don't know. That's a very interesting couple. I actually need to look up their numbers. Can somebody type in the birthday of Remy Ma and Papoose? Let me see. Okay, let me make sure I can go back. Good. Let's see, Remy Ma and Papoose. Because maybe they have compatible numbers. Remy Ma's May 30th, so she's a number 3. Gemini. Papoose is a number 5. Wow. You see what I'm talking about? Those opposite numbers. They're opposite numbers, but they know how to work with each other. They know how to make their love connection work. One is a 3, one is a 5, one is water, one is air. But I'm sure if we were to dig into their astrology charts, we will find some placements that will make that compatibility work. Well, Papoose might have a lot of air sign in certain places in his astrology chart, or Remy might have a lot of water sign in certain placements in her astrology chart. So they may be able to connect because they've been together forever. He done held her down in jail, everything, everything. Someone said a Virgo and a Sag. Y'all hot on Virgos tonight. Virgos and Sagittarius, Lord have mercy, Lord of mercy. I can see the Virgo trying to ground the Sag and keeping the Sag stable. But the Sag wants to do whatever the hell they want to do. Sagittarius is ruled by the number 3. Feisty, fire. They want to do, they don't want to be held down. It's hard to hold the Sag down. Sagittarius, you try to hold them down, they might run unless they want to be held down. Now, what will be interesting is to see the numbers of that Virgo and that Sag. Because say if the Sag and the Virgo have compatible numbers, then that Sag might be willing to submit to some of the grounding that the Virgo is trying to do. And the Sag might be able to get the Virgo out of their box of being contained like the hermit. The Sag might be like, here, live a little bit. Let me take you out. Let's explore things. And if they have compatible numbers or other compatibility in their astrology charts, then that Virgo might be like, okay, I'm going to take your hand. I'm going to step out. I'm going to try new things. I'm going to try to explore. And they might have the time of their life fucking around with a Sagittarius. Sagittariuses are just fucking fun. They love fun. They love lightheartedness. They like jokes. They don't like to deal with things too deep or too heavy. And they're very lucky. Very lucky. I feel like Sagittarius has got 9 lives like a cat. Oh, man. Yeah, Sag is very interesting. Scorpio, a lot of mercy, a lot of sex, a lot of fire, a lot of sex, a lot of fire energy, a lot of feistiness, a lot of emotion. Oh, a lot of emotion, a lot of power struggle between the Scorpios. One tug of war, and that tug of war may lead to makeup sex. Dealing with Scorpios, 2 Scorpios together, a lot of intense emotion, and it depends on the upbringing of those Scorpios too, because if those Scorpios have trust issues, that relationship could go left very quickly. But if they are more evolved Scorpios, then they could be like best friends maybe, because if they accept the best and the worst of each other, and their understanding to that, they could be, they can work well, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Let me see. What's some other celebrities y'all be talking about up in here? What's that girl y'all like? What's that Nicki Minaj? Matter of fact, let's do Nas. Since we've been talking on the subject of Virgos, let's do Nas. Nas is a Virgo, honey. Born on the 14th. He is born under the number 5. Nas has the gift of gab, because Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, which deals with communication. And 5 also deals with communication and is tied in some ways to Mercury as well. So Nas is the type of man that if he wants to, he could talk a woman out of her drawers. But he knows how to communicate, even his lyrical style, and he's very creative. Everybody may not be a Nas fan, but if you listen to his lyrical style and a lot of his songs and the way he says things and how he says things and flips his verbiage, very creative. He have a song called Rewind where he's rhyming about everything backwards. Like, who does that? But that lower vibration of that Virgo energy, honey, when he functions at his lower vibration of that Virgo energy, it is not good. He probably chases women away. And the reason I say that is because a lot of Virgos, in my personal opinion, and they're not the only sign, but sticking on Virgos, they tend to own their dysfunctional ways as a part of themselves. They own it. If I'm an alcoholic, damn it, this is my habit and this is me. That's the mentality. That's how it comes across. If I'm a crackhead, nigga, this is mine. This is me. This is who I am. Accept me for who I am, kind of thing. Which is very dysfunctional. And they don't want you. They don't feel like you or anybody else has the right to tell them that they are doing something dysfunctional unless they give that opening for you to have that conversation with. That's that Virgo energy on the lower vibration. So if you're like, well, I think you should slow down. I think you should slow down with the drinking or the crack. They'll look at you like, who the fuck is you to tell me that? It's my life. It's my habit. The Virgo has to want to change a dysfunctional pattern. You can't make them. You cannot make them. They will be super duper stubborn about it. So let's hope that Nas is functioning on his higher vibration with his sign or with his number. Also, him being born under that number 5 energy is a lot of sexual energy. He's the type of person that may need multiple partners, that may need sex constantly. It may even become an addiction for him if it already is, or if it isn't already. With that 5 energy, that 5 birthday, he may be someone that may enjoy multiple partners, that has trouble staying faithful because of that 5 energy. And a lot of that is also tied into your upbringing. If you had an upbringing as a man where you were seen as inadequate, or you seen yourself as inadequate, or you were treated as if you were always inadequate, you may try to overcompensate and make up for that in other ways. Now that you're a celebrity, or now that you have some status, or now that you have some money, or you can bag girls, now, okay, I'm going to sleep with everybody I can under the sun. I'm going to make up for lost time. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of people function when they have dysfunctional upbringings and different things. Same thing with men, same thing with women, same thing. That can be really in any sign or almost any number. There's a way that dysfunction may present itself. Like people born under the number 4 may have certain types of fetishes because of certain things, or maybe possible past sexual trauma. They may develop certain fetishes, odd fetishes, or things that would be seen to a lot of people as odd. Yeah, so that's a whole nother conversation. Somebody said Libra and Libra. I could see Libra and Libra working together well. Because Libras love partnership. They love to be in love. They love to have someone to be with. And Libras, if they're Libras who can compromise with each other and let the other Libra sometimes get their way and the other Libra get their way the other times, I think they'll be fine. Now, if it's a dysfunctional Libra who've been through a lot of traumas that are undealt with, and they bring that shit in a relationship, the Libras can become abusive to each other and manipulative. So you have to be careful with that. A person's upbringing, what they didn't get, what they did get, it can make a very big impact on all of us. Anybody that you're dealing with in a relationship. If you're a woman with daddy issues, that can affect your relationships with men. If you're a man with daddy issues, that can affect your relationships because it may cause a level of inadequacy in yourself as a man. If you're a woman with mommy issues, that can affect your relationships and your parenting style. If you're a woman with if you're a man with mommy issues, that can affect how you communicate and deal with women. You know what I mean? You might not have no respect for women if your mama left you. There's a lot of, especially in this day and age, you see a lot of hatred against women from men a lot. It's really, really sad and fucked up. And you see the opposite as well. You see a lot of hatred towards men from women. A lot of emasculating things from women towards men. This is just a very weird time where the lines of masculinity and femininity are getting blurred in an unhealthy way and being misunderstood in an unhealthy way. And it's becoming a competition between the masculine and the feminine, which it never needs to be a competition. They're different energies that are connected, that have some of each other in them, but they are not the same, not completely. But that's a whole nother conversation. Somebody said Gemini and Virgo. I can see Gemini and Virgo having an attraction because they're ruled by the same planet. They rule by Mercury. They love the communication. They love intellectual communications. The Gemini loves intellectual communications, but not things that are too in-depth and heavy. The Virgo can go into the deep and heavy. So I could see Virgos and Geminis coming together. I think the difference between the elements may cause problems and challenges. But if they are under the same, they're not even necessarily the same number, it could be the same number or compatible numbers, then that may work. So say if it's a Gemini number 6 and it's a Virgo number, I want to say 2. Let's say 2. Or a Virgo number 3. 3 and 6s tend to get along, even though they're different elements. 3, 6, and 9 tend to all be connected, by the way. But that's another thing. It deals with the moon phases and all kind of stuff. But let's keep it at 2. Keep it simple. If it's a Gemini number 6 and it's a Virgo number 2, they may get along well. Because 2 is a water energy and 6 is an earth energy. Water and earth tend to go well together. Water and earth elements, even though the signs are air and earth. So it gets kind of interesting. It also depends what else is going on in those astrology charts. What's going on in that person's Venus? What's going on in both of the people's Venuses? What's going on in both of the people's Mars? What's going on in their Mercury? What's going on in, different aspects? Say if it's a Gemini and a Virgo that come together, but both of them have a Virgo Mercury. They have a basic level of communication style that is similar, where they can understand each other and connect. So they may be very compatible or they may not be very compatible. Geminis, girl, you done gave me this number before. You trying to figure this man out? Gemini, 616, lot of mercy. Oh, Virgo, 830. The 3 and the 7. Let me tell you something. That Virgo runs circles around that Gemini. That Virgo. That 830 Virgo, honey. That 830 Virgo is intuitive. She feels things, but she has a mouth on her. It's hard for her to bite her tongue. And that Gemini is a number 7 energy, which is more reserved, more laid back of an energy. It's a water number. Don't forget to hit the Cash App and whatever y'all can, Cash App, Venmo, whatever y'all can, if y'all can. It's all appreciated. If you can't, it's still all love. Let me think. I'm calculating in my head. 616. Yeah, that Gemini is kind of weird. They come across very weird, very analytical. He lives in his head a lot. He picks things apart in his head a lot. He likes to analyze things. He second guesses himself. You could say one thing and he may take it into more than what it means. And that Virgo is very bold, very blatant of a Virgo. They don't like to bite their tongue. They like to say what the hell is on their mind. This is how I feel. This is what I want. This is what I need. ... That's the Virgo. You see how I move my head? This is what I want. This is what I need. That's what I'm seeing with that Virgo. And that Gemini keeps secrets. That Gemini hides things, and that's what gets his ass in trouble. He don't know he's telling truth. But yeah, that's interesting. Gemini, another Gemini Virgo, 6, 6, and 9, 5. That's a lot of sex happening there. 6, 6. Oh, sorry, I'm calculating in my head. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm seeing, 3 alignment. Let me see. That Virgo has a lot of sexual energy. That 9-5 Virgo, a lot of sexual energy. Can kind of be, to some degree, controlled by the pleasures of the flesh, as they would say. That 6-6 Gemini is very sensual. Once is very concerned with home and family life. Very concerned with having a happy, solid home and families. Whoever they deal with, if they have children, the person has to fit into their lives with them and the children in the home and the family. That Gemini can also have a tendency to be kind of jealous. And that Virgo gets a lot of attention from other women, if it's a male, or if it's a female, gets a lot of attention from other males. Because that Virgo was also very sensual. And may not even try to be, just a sensual person. Someone who has a lot of friends. That Virgo has a lot of friends. That Virgo is the type of person that likes to be the life of the party, outgoing type of person. Whereas that Gemini that's born on 6-6, they don't mind going out, trying new things, but the home life is important. They're the type that may prefer a date every now and then where you come over and they cook you a meal. Well, that Gemini, that Virgo may want to go out sometimes, but the Virgo side of them would like that home cooked meal at home. You know what I mean? But that number 5 energy of that Virgo wants to go out, go meet people. That Virgo number 5 could talk. He would talk you till you blue in the face. But he's comfortable with people. That's when he love to talk. Another gifted gab person. Let me see. 9/15. Oh, okay. September 15th, Virgo. That September 15th Virgo is concerned about financial security and becoming or being a provider for their home. It is very important for them to have some level of financial security and stability to create a home for themselves. That person has certain goals that they would like to reach. That person may even work a lot, trying to get to those financial goals, trying to get those financial goals met. It's like, oh, I want a house, so I'm going to work. This is my plan. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Very goal-oriented. That person wants to settle down and have a family. That person also might have some jealous tendencies, so they can't be with a partner that's going to make them kind of jealous. They ain't going to really like that. They ain't going to really feel that. Let me see. It's important for that person to have positive family connections with their own family, their own immediate family, or whoever they build a family with. If they have if they come from a dysfunctional upbringing and dysfunctional family, that will cause a lot of insecurity in that person when you're dealing with them in a relationship. So that's a person that if you're dealing with that 9/15 person, you got to constantly reassure them. That's the type of person where if he's a little bit of a workaholic or he's working hard, he come home, you rub his back. Baby, you working so hard. Let me rub your back. Let me rub your feet. Let me rub your legs. You know what I mean? You have to tell them, reassure them, I appreciate that hard work that you're doing. I appreciate you going out and providing. I appreciate you paying that light bill. They need that reassurance. That's what'll keep that person coming back home. That's part of what'll keep them coming back. If a person don't want to come home, no, they don't want to come home. But that's one of the things that might keep that person, keep them feeling more secure. Excuse me. Yeah. What other people y'all got? I've been getting hit with a lot of Virgos and Geminis today. But you know what? It makes sense because today's the 23rd. 23 is a 5. That's a number 5 day, 5 rules communication. 5 is connected with Mercury. Mhm. And we are in 2021, which is a 5 year. Sorry, I had to take a water break. Just for anybody who didn't catch on, I'm actually filming this on my wrong YouTube page. I'm going to transfer this over. I'm going to try to transfer this over at the end to my other my other YouTube page that's supposed to be for conversations like this. This is actually the cookbook page and Facebook that I'm streaming through. Um, I'm still learning how to master this technology, y'all. So please bear with me. But in addition to all of, don't forget I took that medicine, so it's working through me still. Um, but yeah, this is the cooking channel, so I don't put things like this in the cooking channel usually, but for whatever reason, it's meant for it to come to this cooking channel today. So I will try to transfer it over to my other YouTube page where we deal with more metaphysics. We deal about astrology, numerology, one or the other or both. And we just have grown up conversations. We talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. For the next show, we can do a couple of things. What are some things y'all want to go into? I was thinking of doing kind of like a series where I discuss the specific elements. So I focus on 3 signs at a time per show. So maybe water sign video. We talk about water signs, but we also talk about the numbers in the water signs as well. And then we may go into fire, we may go into air, earth, and so forth. Or what we can do is, if you guys have your astrology charts, we can focus on different aspects of the astrology chart every time. So say, for example, you print out your astrology chart or you got it on your phone and you like, I don't know what the hell all of this means. Well, we're going to start breaking it down, what it means. So we could be like, okay, it says my moon is in Pisces. What does that mean? What does that mean? Then we'll talk about what the moon sign is in your astrology chart. We'll talk about whatever signs y'all give me, or we'll just maybe go in order, however we do it. And we'll talk about what a moon in Pisces is, what a moon in Aries is, what a moon in Leo is, what a moon in Gemini is, and so forth. We can do that. And if you need, sorry y'all, I usually don't do all of this in the video, but if you need to find your astrology chart, you can easily go into a search engine. And what you can do is you can type in neonatal chart, and you have a lot of places that for free will give you your astrology chart. All of the places don't break everything down. Some of them do, some of them don't. But we can break it down in that way. Now, if you want a personal consultation from me, y'all know my prices have changed as I made an announcement. And as I'm tapping more into the astrology and combining it with the numerology, it's going to be a lot more heavier. So, y'all know for a 30-minute numerology reading and consultation, y'all know for 30 minutes I charge $60. Thank you for everyone who has ever got a reading from me for my numerology. I'm noticing now that I'm going into deeper things and they're lasting longer because I'm giving a lot more information, and that becomes draining some time. Even though I love giving y'all the information, it becomes tiring. So I do have to charge more because it entails research. It entails tapping inward. It entails, bringing myself in order so that I can provide you guys with the information that y'all may want or need for more insight into yourself and to progress. So for 1 hour consultation, which would consist of the numerology, your numerology and your astrology chart interpretation completely, that is going to be $125. If you would like a couple's 15-minute compatibility reading, it is $33.30. There's a reason behind those numbers. $33.30. That's for a 15-minute reading. Of course, if we go over, usually I don't charge if we go over, but if it goes over like an extra half an hour and stuff like that, I have to charge. I gotta eat, I gotta live like everybody else, I do couples readings. I do Numerology readings. I do now. If you want a 1 hour numerology reading, then that is 120. That's when I'm going to go a lot deeper into the numerology. I can go into your best days of the week. I can go into your personal month, your personal year cycles for the next couple of years. I can go into your life path number and all kinds of stuff. Um, if you want something where the astrology and the numerology is combined, and you want to go through your whole entire chart, that's going to be at least a good hour. So that's why that is 125 now. Um, Also, feel free to check out my website for my herbal products. Um, return to pachamamaherbs.com is where I sell my herbal products. I have a homemade seasoning that I make from moringa. It was inspired by a herbalist friend of mine named Mama Herb, and it is moringa infused seasoning. So I use some really good spices with some moringa. If you guys are not familiar with moringa, moringa helps with all types of health ailments. Moringa is good for anything from diabetes to hypertension to cancer. So infusing that, you're putting a little bit of that herb into your food, and you're not tasting it as much, but you're getting the minerals and the nutritional benefits of that herb while you're seasoning your food. So forget that adobo and that Lori's and that accent. Come and get some moringa seasoning from me. Um, Also, in addition to that, I also still have my cookbook for sale on Amazon. It's actually on at least 10 different sites. I don't remember all the sites from the top of my head, but Amazon is one of them. Book Baby is another one. Book Baby, I actually have a 25% off discount right now. So if you want to get that book for someone by Valentine's Day, feel free. Um, in addition to that, it's on Martha Stewart's website. It's on a whole bunch of websites. I have a listing of it. If you guys want me to repost a listing of it, I will, of all the sites that you can get my cookbook at. Feel free to purchase it. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the positivity. Everyone who has called me, messaged me, text me personally about how me teaching about the numbers, giving them readings, teaching about the signs and different things, how it has helped them, that touches me deep within my soul, and it reminds me of walking in my purpose fearlessly. And I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all so much more, so much more than y'all realize. Y'all really, it's a reciprocating kind of relationship. Yes, I am giving this service, but you guys are helping me as well, and you guys are feeding me as well. And so I thank y'all all from the bottom of my heart, sincerely. I thank you on behalf of my ancestors. I thank you through generations for the love and the encouragement that y'all show me. And I thank y'all for coming up here, and participating. Much love to everyone. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. This video, this live, was a little different than how we usually do it, but that's okay. That is okay. Everything is in divine order and alignment. Everything we need, we already have. Everything we need, we already have. You know what I mean? So I pray that everyone has a prosperous evening, prosperous week, month, year. This is going to be a better year than last year, I'm hoping. That's what I'm feeling intuitively, especially for these Geminis and these Virgos and these number fives. Y'all about to have a wonderful year. Um, so thank y'all, and we are going to close out. Love y'all.